Welcome all the YouTube enjoyers. Today, the new class trailer has came out, and I came up with the correct translation. Then let's get started. It's Party Synergy, 12% armor break. Let me go on the common spec first. As you see in the center, there's a clock that has hour hand and minute hand. The time naturally ticks. And whenever you land the skills, like any skills, it accelerates, which reduces 0.2 second cooldown of all skills except the spacebar. So this includes the awakening as well. And also, whenever it accelerates, like whenever you land the skills, then you get 10% movement speed and 5% animation speed, and 50% mana restoration speed, which is basically permanent buff then, right? Whenever you land the skill. Now, when the time hits 0 o'clock, then it immediately decreases all the skills cooldown by 20 seconds, except for the spacebar and the awakening for this part. But here's the problem. Now I'm gonna explain the two different builds, the time controller and the dimension warrior, and both of these two builds cannot utilize these buffs because they completely change, which means I'm guessing this part is here only for the paradise. Now let's go to time controller first. This is the Hitmaster class. It uses hour hand skills. As I said, the above common feature changes. Whenever it hits 0 o'clock, then you charge something called time split. You can press Z to activate time split. Then he leaves a clone in that position. Let's see how it looks like. Like that. It leaves the clone like that and goes into a certain mode. So we call this as time split mode. When you go in, it lasts for 15 seconds and it applies synergy with some damage. Now for 15 seconds, you cannot use awakening. In exchange of that, all the skills except the awakening and spacebar resets right away, and all your skills cooldown freezes. Alright, let's see what this means. So he just used D and F. Watch the skill cooldown because it does not go down from 35 seconds and 1 minute. Z, D, F. See, it's not going down. That's what it means by the cooldown freezes. So that sounds bad then, right? But if you see here, this time split mode is something that you can charge the stack whenever it hits the 0 o'clock. So you can press the Z again to reset all the skills if you have the time split in the stock. And he's gonna show that here. Right now, it's in cooldown and he's gonna press the Z again. Like that. You can press Z again during the time split mode to do finish blow, which teleports you back to where the clone was, just like the echo from the League of Legends. And for 2 seconds, you get minus 50% damage reduction and push immune. Also, this terminates the time split mode. So here he presses Z and leaves a clone like that, and then use D and F, and then use the Z again, which teleports him back to where the clone was, right? And also resets the entire skill again. It does the damage on where it currently is. This one right now, boom. And then goes back like that. So it does damage on where you are, not on where the clone was, which is gonna make the gameplay easier. You can also press X instead to not teleport to where the clone is and just stay where you are. This also terminates the time split mode, by the way. This time, let me go to the Dimension Warrior. Dimension Warrior is a back attack class, and it uses minute hand skills. Of course, it loses the common feature, but instead, it gets a permanent buff. The minute hand skills cooldown decreases by 40%, mana consumption by 45%, and awakening damage plus 50%. It's permanent buff. He gets a new Z skill which has 15 second recharge time with 1 second cooldown. This can stack up to 2 stacks. The Z skill does damage and applies synergy for 8 seconds. Also, for 20 seconds, it activates Dimension on that side. Let's see what this is. Like that. It just used a Z, and there's an indicator like this. if you hit that direction, then it considers as a back attack. You're doing back attack by hitting 2 out of 4 sides. While the mob has this dimension debuff, you can press Z again to do finish blow. It does a lot of damage, and it terminates the dimension debuff. So let's see what that is. So if I show you, he's gonna do some attack, and then press Z soon. Boom, that attack just now. And the indicator just disappeared, right? The Z damage increases whenever you land the skills on the side where the dimension is. Huh? Then it's still like hitting 1 out of 4 side. So it looks like you still have to hit 1/4 of the side, but at least this is a very flexible class where you can keep on changing the direction where you want to hit. As you see here, he presses the Z to activate the direction. And then he starts spamming the skills like that, right? So he's building the Z. And then he's gonna use the Z now. Boom. A lot of damage there. That's how this class works. Coming out in 5 days. Until then, stay noted. Spam GigaChad 07.